Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Don from 1A Auto. I hope this how-to video helps you out. And the next time you need a part for your vehicle, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks.
In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the wiper transmission or the linkage on this 2001 Ford Escort. Pretty much the same for any 98 to 03 Escort, and usually you need to do this if one of your wipers isn't working because the arm got stripped or something like that. It got caught in the ice, and it's not a very difficult procedure. You'll need new wiper linkage from 1AAuto.com, 10 and 13 millimeter sockets with a ratchet extension, a small flat blade screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, and T15 and T30 Torx drivers.
Take a flat blade screwdriver and pry off the cover of the passenger wiper arm, and you're going to find the 13 millimeter nut. And on the driver's side, take your cover off.
And we'll just speed up as we use a 13 millimeter socket and a ratchet to remove the two nuts that hold the wiper arms on.
Taking off the passenger and driver's side wiper arms. Right, with the hood closed, you're going to see on the top of the cowl here one big and then a bunch of small covers, and same thing on the other side. And I'm just going to pry this off with a little pocket screwdriver. And you'll see a Phillips head screw on this, and then you'll see on the smaller ones, as I pry up here, Torx 15.
Okay, so I'm just going to speed up. Again, you use a Phillips screwdriver on the outer ones and a T15 Torx driver for the other ones. And the smaller covers can be difficult to get out. We used a very small screwdriver to pry them up, but one of them seemed really didn't want to come out, but eventually it did. And you may find that you break one or two of them in getting them out. Not the biggest deal in the world. They don't, they're not a crucial part of the system. If you leave one off or two off when you put it back together, it won't affect anything.
I'm going to take the top of the cowl off, put it aside, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 plastic rivets.
And those rivets actually come out. They're pretty straightforward. Work your screwdriver underneath the panel that the rivet holds in place. Pry up on the panel where the rivet is, and the rivet will pop up and out.
I'm disconnecting the negative battery terminal to make a little bit more room. And it's a 10 millimeter socket. Push that out of the way. And I'm going to remove the 3 10 millimeter bolts that hold the wiper motor in place. There's 2 on the top and 1 on the bottom, where you might need like a 3-inch extension to get to that.
And I'm just going to speed up here as we remove those 3 bolts that hold the wiper motor to the firewall.
I'm removing the connector that goes to the wiper motor by pushing in the tab and pulling it off of the motor. The flathead screwdriver I'm going to pull up on the clip. I'll pry it off. I'm using a Torx 30 driver to remove 1, 2, 3, 4 screws.
And we'll just speed up here as we take out those 4 screws.
Push the driver's side down in, and then I'm just going to use the arm here to kind of play with it until I can position it to come out. From the driver's side over, I'm going to feed in. Again, you might have to play with the arm here to get it to line up. Then once you can get this one in, and you've got a post coming through, you can secure it so it doesn't come out. In there loosely. Then play with the back side of the driver's side to line up your pin and your holes.
Okay, so just going to speed it up here. Basically, you get the one closer to the passenger side of the car in first, start in one of the bolts, then get the one closer to the driver's side in, start the bolts, then start all the bolts, and then tighten up those bolts with a T30 Torx Driver.
Put the motor back in, feed the arm in through the hole. Bolts back in.
And fast forward here, as we use a 10mm socket with the ratchet and the extension, just make sure that you get those bolts started into their holes first. Push the wiper motor firmly into place, then push the bolt in and start turning it. Once you get it going and there's not a lot of, shouldn't be a lot of resistance, make sure it's not cross-threaded, and then tighten them up.
Put your connector back on. Putting the clip back on. Sliding it in until it locks. Reconnect your battery. And I'm going to run it. And set it at stop. I'm going to put this piece of the cowl back on.
Put the lower cowl panel in place, and then go to each side, just kind of lift it up and over the hinge and down into place. And we'll fast forward here, close or put the hood down. Your 2 Phillips screws go in the outside holes on each side of the windshield, and then the other T15 Torx screws go in the other holes, and then just put your little closeout or trim buttons back in place.
reinstalling the wiper arms.
Okay, we just put these in place, set them to about the right level. What we did before when we ran the motor, that made sure that the motor was in the park position, so the wipers should be at their lowest level. So put them in place, thread the 13 millimeter bolts or nuts on, and then tighten them up.
Covers.
And then put your trim covers back on. We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.1aauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.